Hello everybody, I'm Bateswolf and welcome to... It's not a new episode of Dark Souls or any kind of game, it's actually our Dark Souls boss tier list. Now, I hope this is a video that I don't go off on too many tangents on because there can be a lot to talk about, to be honest. So fingers crossed we don't end up going here, there and everywhere, diverting our course of action as far as commentary is concerned. Because there is really a lot that we could do with this, and I'm also hoping it's not too long. I want to try and keep it concise for you guys. Just a couple of disclaimers at the start as well. I totally understand that people will have different opinions on this, and as another thing as well, it's not a difficulty list, and I just need to definitely move that out of the way over here. Hopefully that's still recording. Should be good there, yeah. Okay. I was getting distracted by the bar going up over there for the volume, but it's fine. Yeah, as I was saying, I hope we don't go off on too many tangents. I understand that people will have different opinions on this, and I want to make clear that it's... By the way, feel free to share in the comments if you disagree, or tell me what you think. This isn't a difficulty thing either. It's not what I think which boss is difficultest, or the most difficult, or anything like that. It's an overall, what I consider to be a brilliant boss fight, and that's going to be from anything from... the fight itself to the boss arena, the boss music, the design of the boss, the impact. It's just like a general overall kind of analysis of how I perceive the bosses to be and how good I think each fight is. So I'm going to try and not go on for like hours on end, which I could quite easily do on this video, to be honest. And I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet for each one while trying to analytically break down why I've made this decision. And once again, I will say, we will get into this in a moment, but I will say, feel free to share your comments down below. I know not everyone's going to agree with me on this. I would never expect you to anyway, right? I mean, you know, these games are really deep, and, you know, there's all kinds of different factors to take into account. So hopefully I don't forget too much as well as we're going through here, because of that reason, I very well easily could do. But yeah, we'll try and provide a good grouped opinion on these fights here. I already know one or two might catch you off guard, to be honest, whereas some will likely be expected. But this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time here, and we're finally doing it. No doubt you guys expected it from me in the future. Maybe we can do it for this game at some point as well, once I beat the DLC. And yeah, I guess let's get into it. First of all, I do actually, I am passionate about these games, as you know, so I want to try and... you know, give them all a proper place which I see fit. Now, the Four Kings is, first of all, I do want to make sure, like, I agree with myself on this as well, so there may be some thinking that goes on the fly here as we allocate each boss to its position. On the tier list here, we've got S to D. S, of course, being the best, and A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth going down. May need to do some thinking on the fly, because I want to make sure that I, you know, totally respect each boss and put it in a position where I see fit. That suits it well, without, you know, undervaluing it, so to speak. Whew. So, okay, first of all, we've got the Four Kings. My first instinct is to go to A tier, and I feel like that's where it's going to stay. We will go through this list, by the way. Chronologically, in the way that it's laid out. At least I know it's not chronological in terms of, you know, the way you actually go through the story, but you know, in the way that it's provided to us here. So first of all, we've got the Four Kings A tier boss, I would say. Quite a few factors to it. Boss room, totally unique. I know from a design perspective, you're going to say, well, it's just a black room. You know, there's not an awful lot going on there, you know, in terms of creative design. In terms of, oh, look at the way this foliage is laid out, or anything like that, or look at how you can use this piece of the environment to your advantage. But the lack of that is exactly why it is creative in that way, because it's just a black room, you're in the abyss. Key point in the game. Another point I forgot to mention as well, I will also be ranking these on my particular, you know, an element of which will be on how I like the story of the character or boss as well, like the quote unquote lore behind it, so to speak. I feel like so that will also take you know, encompass part of our final decision. Just to make that point, I was dreaming about that in the shower this morning actually, so can't forget to say that. But yeah, Four Kings overall great boss. There's numerous of them. You've got multiple targets, 4 of them. Of course, you've got the 5th one as well. That comes up from beneath the boss room if you don't meet a certain threshold of damage. Or time and so on and so forth. Well, no, I think it's actually damage that works off from what I can remember. Like I said, the deep games, it's easy to forget minor things, but anyway, I'm doing my best here, so there we go. Yeah, so that's that. Numerous targets. A challenging fight for the player of how you've got to play around multiple targets at the same time. It's interesting from a story perspective as well. These 4 kings who fell to darkness, fell to the abyss, and now they're trapped and locked under there under New Londo. They've got a fragment of Gwyn's soul that he, bequeathed to them. They're not a lord, so to speak, but for the duties that they did against the creatures of the abyss, I believe Gwyn donated some of his soul, his incredibly powerful soul, towards them. Super interesting room, like I said. Fun boss fight, multiple targets, A-tier boss in my opinion. Now let's keep it going here. Damn it, I've just realised we're 6 minutes in and we've done 1 boss. Maybe if you like a more in-depth breakdown, this will be your thing anyway, so rather than just going bing, bing, bong, bong, and allocating things wherever you like. So hopefully that's your thing in this case. Okay, next we have Gaping Dragon. A fun fight. I enjoy it. I'm going to put that into beta. I enjoy the element as well with the channeler. If you don't, this is what's so creative. It's the simple things as well. These little things that I think some people may either overlook or forget about, or simply just think, oh, well, that's not much of a big deal. I feel like Dark Souls 1 has a lot of those moments, like more than people realize, that really adds that extra special click to it, where it kind of makes it superior over the other games, in my opinion. And this being one of them, just a simple element of, oh, there's a channeler up there in the depths. If you miss that or don't kill that, it will buff the dragon considerably, to the point where it does quite a bit more damage. I feel like something simple like that is, just goes to show how thoughtful FromSoft were when constructing these bosses and, putting things together in a creative manner for the player to explore and figure out. Really cool stuff, very fun. Of course, you've got your summon with Solaire here as well, which is cool. Good luck getting him through that fight, because it's not really one of those where he does last the journey. He normally does pop his clogs on it, sadly. But Gaping Dragon fight, very fun. I must admit, in the cutscene when it was first starting, I thought when he pokes his head up over the ridge, you enter from this side, of course, and he pokes his head up over the ridge. I thought, oh, it's kind of cute. It's going to be this, medium to large crocodile-sized enemy that's going to scurry around the room quite quickly. And then when the rest of it comes up and its chest opens up, crazy stuff. Cool design on the boss. It's tiny head, massive split open chest. It's basically grown into a giant mouth. I believe if you look at the lore on this creature, it is because I can't remember the exact origin. It might have something to do with the Ring of Evil Eye, the beast that assaulted Astora, or it could be conflicting things there. I might not be right, but the story ends up going on to the fact that it ended up eating things, devouring everything, could never quench its hunger, grew into a giant mouth, basically. Interesting how you can cut its tail off and get the Great Hammer, the Drankin Great Hammer. Very fun stuff. Good fight. I enjoyed it. We'll probably be repeating ourselves to a certain degree with that stuff. I'll be saying that for most of the bosses, because I'm sure you guys know by now this is my favourite game of all time. I consider it the greatest game ever made, for numerous reasons. So I think that the list might end up being a little top heavy, and there'll be a lot of positives there, but there will be some that will get, C and D as well. It must be said, not everything can be perfect, right? But maybe that is another element that makes it perfect. You've got to have a balance, right? You can't have it too one-sided, all on one end. That would just be stupid. I don't think that I'd had a good balance. It'd probably show a lack of character, difference with how the bosses are. I don't know, but that's fine. I'm just making the point that we will have some lower down as well, but most of it's probably going to be in the higher tiers, middle to above, so to speak. I still consider B good, by the way. I know it's technically in the middle, but I still consider that good standard for a boss fight for sure. Not bad at all. Good level. C's getting a bit lackluster, and then D's like not good really. A, great, and S is just God tier. So that's generally how we're playing things out, and that's probably how I can see this list going. But either way, we'll see how this goes as we move forward here. Yeah, that's basically that. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this so far. I've had this one coming for a long time. Okay. Yeah, you get the King Great Hammer from there as well. I know I said I would try not to go too deep into it, but that's exactly what I'm doing. They might end up being 1 or 2 cuts in this video, depending on how long we get, but we'll do our best to keep it as one solid take. That's going to be a little hard to do over this period, but such a long time. But we'll do our best. If there's a couple of little blips in there, you know, so be it. It's still a whole one video, one list, so all's good there. And we'll try and keep things flowing, so between all that stuff. So that's that. All's good. So yeah, alrighty. B tier for Gaping Dragon. I feel like that's fit. The boss room as well. I mean, even that's interesting to me. How we right at the bottom of the depths, you've got that, and you always wonder where it crawled up from. Where did it possibly crawl up from? Beneath the depths, maybe a part of Blighttown that you don't see. Something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning to A tier now. Like the boss fight is actually really good in my opinion. There's quite a few elements to it as I've just broken down there. The design of the boss visually is special. Hmm. I don't know. A tier. No, I think in the whole scheme of things, I'll keep it in B tier, but it's a really good boss. We'll keep it high B for now. Yeah, we'll keep it top B. Alright, so Sif. Okay. It's A or S. It's A or S right away. Let's put him in A for now, just while we discuss. That could change though. This is all kept in the context of, for example, let me just break this down as well. This is all in the context of Dark Souls 1. I don't really want to bring influence from any other games into this. But just so you know, Gaping Dragon in B tier on Dark Souls 1, maybe A or S tier in Dark Souls 2, for example. I'm just saying, you know, as a context thing, you know, that is something that must totally be brought into all debates when comparing things across different platforms like that. You know, the context of how good something is. So in the context of Dark Souls 1, we'll keep him in B. There could be a little bit of movement on that, just like there could be for any of these bosses, for example. I'm really trying to cover all bases here, as you can tell. But yeah, just as there could be for any of these bosses here, there could be a little bit of movement here and there, a bit of leeway for any of them, which is expected. And I think overall we'll keep him in B for now, but I just wanted to, you know, reiterate that point there, make that clear. Overall, we'll keep him in B for now, the Gaping Dragon. I think that's suitable, and got to try not to fidget around too much here as well. Bloody hell, I'll be kicking my desk and everything. But yeah, just for context, we're not taking into account any of those Souls games here. A B tier on this list, like I said, might be A tier on Dark Souls 2, for example. So just to make that clear as well, this is just totally Dark Souls 1 focus. As you can tell, we are just doing the Dark Souls 1 bosses. I may do the other games in the future, and, you know, they will not be tied to Dark Souls 1 as well, of course. They'll have their own context and bubble, so to speak. I feel like that was a worthwhile point to make there as well. So, okay, Sif, moving forward now. I got to not get too hung up here. Sif. From a story point of view, incredibly cool. The way that he ties in with Artorias. And I think we'll bring him up next. We'll do him next. I know I said I'd do it totally in this order, but we'll bring him up next so we can be near his pal. Really fun boss. You're fighting a giant wolf that's wielding a sword in its mouth. Located in the dark, right at the back of Darkroot Garden. Incredibly cool area in the game. Very fun, lots of invasions going on. The boss fight, it's A or S, isn't it? It's such an iconic character from a lore point of view, like I said. Very fun, very cool. His soul is nice to get Artorias' sword, is his weapon. Um, a very fun fight. I love the boss arena, the chilling bluish area around you that's creeping in from the forest, moonlit. It's the wolf's doing flips, and he's scything you with his sword left to right. The little detail of him when you get him down to low HP, by the way, and he starts limping. Another incredibly creative move there by FromSoft, including that in the game. His swings become more cumbersome. Incredible. A truly iconic fight of Dark Souls 1, I would say. Is it an S tier boss fight, though? People may hate me, but I think I'm going to keep him in A, but he goes above the Four Kings. I feel like I put him above the Four Kings here. The music as well, very nice. Very cool. Same music as the Butterfly, right? Yeah, same music as the Moonlight Butterfly, I'm sure. Very nice soundtrack. We'll put him at the top of A tier right now. Next, his master. It's S tier. It's an S tier fight. Artorias, I'm sorry. I don't know if people will agree or disagree. I feel like most will agree here, actually. Artorias is an S tier boss fight. I feel like he's, even because of the Sith fight, his is advanced. His is extended upon due to the fact that it was much anticipated. You saw countless bits of him through the lore before the DLC was released, through various item descriptions and speculation and so on and so forth. Being one of Gwyn's knights, of course, integral to the story there. His story of going through the abyss to battle the creatures below. And, of course, leaving his shield to protect Sif down there, which is, of course, what caused his, shield arm to become destroyed and weak, and you see it flopping around in the fight. Another little detail there that is so damn cool. So damn cool, like, to visually see and see the little detail of how that design choice makes sense, the crossover. Also, from a gameplay point of view, incredibly fun. He's got quite a cool moveset. He's got a couple of power-ups where he makes himself stronger. He's got aerial attacks where he comes down from above. Spinning ones where he hits multiple times. Quick ones where he lashes out his weak arm. From a gameplay point of view, incredibly fun. Multiple power-ups. Incredible story. Boss arena's cool. Kind of standard. A bit Colosseum-like. But very cool as well. Definitely overall S tier boss. I guess I don't really need to elaborate more for him. Very, very freaking cool. Good boss. Great boss overall. God tier, actually, clearly, because we put him in S tier. Moving on. I can probably keep Artorias pretty sweet there. Could elaborate more details about him, but I think most of it is self-explanatory, and I think I've done an okay job there enunciating exactly the points that I needed to make. Okay, Gwyn. Right. Once again, I'm going to say it's A or S. In my opinion, people may disagree. I feel like it's an A tier fight. Which is sad because he's the final boss of the game. But I don't know, for reputation alone, you could seriously make an argument for S. And you know what? Not even just that. I feel like people, you know what? Yeah, I'm being myself here. I feel like people are too harsh on that fight. Sometimes I feel like that's an S tier fight. It's God tier. People are like, oh well, you can just parry him. Well, yeah, but that's a unique element to that boss fight. It's the final boss of the game, and it does make sense here, by the way. He's the final boss of the game. It's Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, the one and only, and you can parry him. There's his weakness right away. But he's just a husk of what he once was. Imagine how powerful and strong he was before he linked the fire, before he started to decay and weaken. He's a husk of what he once was. Hence, Lord of Cinder, not Lord of Sunlight, or fire or anything like that. Just the remaining embers of him remain. So it's an S tier fight. The parrying only adds to his story, in my opinion. Sure, it does make it easier, but you can just choose not to parry him. There is that element of it. he can still provide quite a threat when you, even if, if you're not great at parrying as well, he can still provide a big threat to you. And, there's been plenty of people that have struggled with him. Also, if you do it without parrying, he can be quite aggro as well. He's got quite a few moves where he charges quickly. And he also lights his sword on fire and flies towards you and smacks you. So you can also use his boss room, which I love, by the way, right in the kiln of the first flame. Another great point of his, the music is fantastic for him. So once again, overall, and story as well, such a key character. He's kind of like, some people might not like this example, but the super iconic Ned Stark kind of Game of Thrones-esque character, but for Dark Souls. Don't get me wrong. I know they're not similar in any way, and people may not like that example, but Ned Stark, he's gone in the first season. Well, spoilers. I'm sorry. I'm going way off topic here, but I feel like this is an okay analogy. He's gone in the first season, yet you can still make a point for him being the most important character in the show, even though he's not in any of the other seasons. Gwyn also, I know he's the end game boss, and you get the point. And there's no other seasons to not appear in, but I digress, forgetting that. So important to the story, so key. You see him in the opening or cutscene, the game's building up to him eventually, and he's a husk of what he once was, but still, you can still feel the might and power that he once had there. Incredibly strong, incredibly powerful still, but with one big weakness. So I kind of see him as like the father figure, or the most iconic figure of Dark Souls, so to speak. Maybe not totally. I mean, you can make an argument for NPCs and so on and so forth, but as far as bosses go, without doubt, in my opinion, the most iconic character of not just the game but the series. Putting yourself aside as well, of course, maybe, and so on and so forth, but. So his whole aspect, the fight itself, you can use the pillars in the room as an environmental benefit, just working around them, to avoid him in the fight. You can do that. The boss room is great. You're right in the kiln where he first linked it. Amazing. All in all, S-tier fight, that's what I'll say. I am still conscious about time, but that's fine. However long it ends up, it ends up. You guys can no doubt skip to the parts of the video that you want to see anyway, if you want to do that, or if you watch it all the way through, well, thank you, because it's bound to be a long one at this stage. So, yeah, we'll go with it. The time is what it is. No problem. Not a big deal. Alrighty. Now, would I put him above Artorias, though? Artorias is probably the better fight, to be honest. I love Gwyn's fight so much, though, at the same time. For what it means to Dark Souls, though, for how important it kind of is, I am trying to cover all bases here as well, like I said, guys. Not just gameplay aspects, even though that is also key as well. And I've been considering that in these decisions, and will continue to do, as you guys know anyway, I've already mentioned, but I feel like the gameplay's still good there too. Does he go above Artorias though? But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm still considering that, so don't worry, I'm still considering gameplay. I'm just looking at holistically as well. The boss music, I love the Gwyn fight. It's my list. He's S-tier. He's going above. I might change that near the end. Artorias is so important as well, though. Oh my god, I don't know. I can't believe I'm struggling to decide here. No. Yeah, I'll put Artorias above him. I think that's fair. Artorias goes above Gwyn there in this fight, I'd say. Alrighty, moving on anyway. Let's see, Iron Golem. Man, a lot of these are testing my mind. Ooh, I really like this fight. It's A tier. It's an A tier fight. It's an A tier fight. You know what? I might put him above the Kings as well. We'll see. Iron Golem, great fight, very enjoyable. A big monolithic type creature. Um, you run into the boss fight. Also, I must say, one of my favorite tracks in the whole game. Seriously, Iron Golem soundtrack is great. He uses, axe ranged attack as you come through the door. It flies towards you. You've got to roll through it and so on. The scenery for when you're fighting this guy is also incredible. You're on the top of a building. You're on the top of Sen's Fortress. You're fighting him on a rooftop. Space is somewhat limited, which also always makes a fight interesting. You've got the toppling effect where you can knock him off. Really interesting. Really interesting, unique elements of the fight there, kind of like an Achilles heel style of I'm losing my English capability here. I can't speak barely. The Achilles heel type effect, really interesting, element that they added to the fight there, where you can topple him off the building. He's got his grab moves, of course. You can bring Tychus into the fight. If you look around, like, you are fighting on top of a fortress. Incredibly cool boss room. Space is limited, like I said, which I always like in boss fights. Makes it really interesting, which is why there will be a very surprising one here that will make S tier, in my opinion, that a lot of people will be shocked by. Make your guesses now. Always makes it interesting. He's got his grab move. He can actually launch you off the building if you're unlucky enough. And if you don't kill the big golem above the fortress, of course people may do something like this by second nature now, but when the game first came out, I bet a lot of people just walked in there and started getting firebombed from above from the massive golem atop the building. While in this fight, I was one of them. I did that. And I was like, well, what the bloody hell's going on here? Turned around and I see his mate up there launching boulders down on me that explode. So there really is a lot of elements to this one. I think it's an A-tier fight, really fun. Love the music. Like I said, I just think overall it's a fantastic fight again. More than meets. This is one of them that can be a bit of a sleeper fight. There's a lot more than meets the eye with that one. I would seriously say. Very good fight. Now, do I put it above the Kings though? I actually might do. You can bring Tychus into the fight and let him solo him. That can be fun. If you take a brief moment to look around at the scenery that you are fighting in as well, it's amazing. The gameplay's fun, dodging his like grabs and whatnot. His stomps that he can do. It's an A-tier boss fight. I love it. Okay, moving on. I'm probably not going to put all these, in exact order. We may end up changing it up and doing something like that later. But yeah, at least they're in the right tier. So I guess it's not necessarily ranking them along like that, but yeah, no, you know what? We will do it like that because we did it for Artorias and Gwyn. We put Artorias above Gwyn. Gollum goes above the Four Kings, in my opinion. I don't know. It's so hard to make the decision. Does he go above Sif though? Probably not. Too iconic. Then again, the Four Kings are really good like that as well. We'll keep him below the Kings. Yeah, we'll keep him below the Kings. Next up, Moonlight Butterfly, everyone. Half an hour in. Oh my god. 6 bosses down. That's a boss every 5 minutes. Moonlight Butterfly, going straight into B tier there. Solid boss fight, good boss fight. Magical, once again, interesting boss fight room though. Good music, like Sif, they share that. I believe they share it anyway, right? Unless I'm forgetting. I think Gwendolyn might also share that. He's on here as well, right? Yeah, there he is. 3 tracks. There, all sounds good. Very nice one, quite eerie, but relaxing and beautiful at the same time. Unless I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure they share the same boss music. But either way, if I've made a mistake there, it has actually been a little while since I've done a playthrough of Dark Souls 1. But either way, you get the point. If I messed that up, I apologise. Regardless, great track. I still remember it. Really good. But is it as good as Sif? Does it deserve to be on this A tier? I don't think so. Fun fight though. can be a little interesting, waiting for her to, descend, or him. I don't remember the gender. But waiting for him to descend onto the ledge of the wall, and then you've got to get all your hits in before she flies off again after performing the explosion. I guess there's just not enough to it that really make it anything more than just a good fight. Beautiful design of the boss. The strongest points for this fight are beautiful design of the boss. Fits with the environment incredibly well, and the music incredibly well. The whole look, you can actually look up and see it before you get anywhere near it. As you're approaching through Darkroot Garden, before you even get to the bonfire, you can look up and see it there. It fits the environment so well. It's gorgeous, and it's got a unique boss room. Just one strip that you've got to maneuver along, and as she's going above you, switch to the other side and work your way along the platform. But as far as the fight itself goes, not interesting enough from a mechanical point of view, gameplay point of view, to really, get into A tier, I'd say. But all in all, really good boss. Good boss fight. Not bad. You certainly wouldn't say it's bad. Various magic attacks can go onto it. You can summon the witch for it. Yuria, right? Not Yulia. She destroys it, though. Some people could see that as a positive or negative. I've got to at least be human to summon, and you've got to find her sign behind the bushes. But yeah, you've got to summon for the fight, which is fun. All around good boss fight. Definitely not bad, not bad at all. So stays in good. B, above Gaping Dragon. There's an argument, but I'm not gonna make it. Gaping Dragon stays above. Nito, okay. Nito. Where do we put you? I think Nito's actually gonna go in good. Good fight, solid fight, B tier. He's in where you would expect him to be. He's in Beyond the Tomb of Giants, Beyond the Catacombs, all that good stuff. You can covenant with him for the Grave Lord, which is interesting. I guess that's not directly part of the fight. It's kind of not, but you can covenant with him, his character, which is pretty cool. It does add to his character and him as a character, and therefore as a boss as well, which is interesting. The Gravelord Covenant, Nito. Boss fight room, not my favourite, to be totally honest. You've got the bunch of rocks in the middle, big like stalagmites and whatnot. And it's basically a donut. You've got that one solid object in the middle, and you've got to work around him. The skeletons, my god, can they be annoying? But you can kind of lure him over a little bit. With a bow, or if you get to a certain distance from him, you can pull back before the big skeletons get involved. He's got mini skeletons fighting with him. The guy can poison you. And he can reach through the ground and hit you anywhere in the room, which is interesting. Not my favourite soundtrack, not my favourite boss room. They're not too special, I don't think. They kind of, standard. They're okay. A boss room better than the soundtrack, in my opinion, for sure. It's not, it's not bad, but it's also nothing amazing, I don't think. From a gameplay point of view, just kind of, standard. It's okay, it's fine. The skeletons can be a bit annoying, get them away. He's got a big AoE attack. He's got a grab, which is quite interesting. That's always a good one. And you see it coming, right into you as he chokes you out and whatnot. And then normally your health just gets chunked and your character goes, oh, and then, falls down and hits the ground. But not a bad fight. I'd say just kind of standard, decent fight. Story-wise, he's one of the lords. That's positive. He's powerful and strong. But, yeah, I'd put him in good. I'll put him above the butterfly, though, if it lets me. Maybe above the Gaping Dragon as well. Yeah, he is a lord. He's got some interesting story elements going on there. Also, the character design, just a big carcass of skeletons shrouded in darkness, and he's got his big curved greatsword. I realise I'm off screen there. His big curved greatsword that he uses to scythe you. Yeah, we'll put him in good. B tier is appropriate for him. Maybe not above the dragon, though, actually. Yeah, Nito. I mean, he's cool. I do like him. He's good, but I don't think I put him above the dragon here either, actually. We'll keep him in B tier there. Next, okay, moving on. Next, I don't think I need to say much here. Nothing comes close, actually. If there was an SS tier, that would be in it, and nothing else would. Smo and Ornstein, just, man, seriously, best fight in the game, best soundtrack in the game, probably the best boss room in the game. Great lore surrounding them, located in the best area of the game, right before the Lord Vessel. It's everything. It's literally got the best of everything, in my opinion. I love the design of the boss room. It's incredible. The soundtrack is unbelievable. It's astronomically good. It is amazing. The two characters, the kind of contrasting in the personalities. Smo's an executioner. He eats the bones of those that he's executed, while Ornstein, I kind of see him as the one keeping him in check. As he is the leader of Gwyn's Knights. He is the head of them. Hence why he's been tasked with protecting Anor Londo and Gwyn's daughter. Although, daughter's illusion, I do know, but... and he's the one that's kind of got to keep Smo in check. Because I think he'd be a little bit wild. All joking aside, I really think he would be a little bit wild and take advantage of everything if Ornstein wasn't there to control him. They bounce off each other totally well. There's two enemies in the fight that are both incredibly strong. They've got the power-up phase, no matter which one you kill first. I mean, I could speak. We've been going 36 minutes. I could probably give these guys 36 minutes alone. Smo and Ornstein, without doubt, the best fight. I probably don't need to say too much more because it should be self-explanatory, really. Though, once again, people may not agree, so maybe it's not self-explanatory, but... It's the best boss fight in the game for me. Two strong characters, like I said, with interesting stories and backstories. You get, you've got the power up phase, the second phase, where, if you kill Smo first, Ornstein gets more powerful. You kill Ornstein first, Smo gets more powerful. It varies on the drops of souls and items that you get, depending on which one you kill. There's just so much detail that they put into this fight. So much thought. It's in my favourite area in the game. It fits so well with it, in my opinion. It's got my favourite soundtrack, like I said. It's got one of my favourite boss rooms. I wouldn't necessarily say my absolute favourite, but it's definitely one of, without a doubt. There's just too much working in favour of Smo and Ornstein. S-tier boss, best fight in the game. End of story for me. And now, moving on. I feel like I've said enough. I could literally talk forever about them. I used to have their soundtrack as my ringtone waking up for work, actually, but it ended up being... It was a bit too loud and aggressive, to be honest, to start up, to wake up in the day with, and it shocked me a little bit, so I ended up changing it. Moving on, contrasting now. We're going to have our lowest rated one so far. Pinwheel. A lot of people are going to be thinking, yeah, bang him in D right away. Let me explain. He's going in C. Yes, he's easy. Yes, he does come across as insignificant. But... And he's weak, I know. I know, but... I feel like he gets too much of a harsh rap. I feel like Pinwheel's story is really interesting. If you look into it, and once again, I won't... be making an entire lore explanation on each character here, but the Pinwheel story is actually quite interesting of how he betrayed Nito and took the right of kindling for himself. And I think, in fact, I can't remember all of it myself, to be honest, but it is interesting how he screws over Nito. Oh, this is the way that I interpret it, at least. He screws over Nito, takes the right of kindling for himself, to try and stop Nito from gaining all this power, which is great. You could actually, from certain perspectives of the lore, you could actually interpret Pinwheel to be a good-ish character, even though he's a boss, he's an enemy. And I think he tries to destroy it, actually. But that could also make him appear bad. In the way that he's looking at, destroying it, and then it's not going to allow Hollows to kindle as well. But Hollows never had the the chance anyway, unless they obtain the Rite of Kindling. Or not hollows, but, you know, undead. So at least he took it away from Nito, who was no doubt going to do worse with it. But maybe, you know, Pinwheel was going to do some bad stuff with it as well. And, you know, keep it for himself and become almighty and powerful. But he can be interpreted in a good way. I think he's got quite an interesting story that does get overlooked sometimes. I've not broken it down in the most in-depth way there, but it's worth looking into. Trust me, there's a few items that link to him in the Tomb of Giants that elaborate on this a bit further as well, and it is really interesting. Go and take a look. Trust me. The boss room as well is another thing that I love. It's a massive sarcophagus built into the rock right at the top of Tomb of Giants. And at the bottom of the catacombs, he's in the giant sarcophagus, working away, tinkering away on the Rite of Kindling, and also what is behind them masks. I can't remember the name for it, but I believe there's a Japanese style mythical creature or character that this is based on. And if you take off the masks and the cloak, it's actually 3 actual people on each other's shoulders and wrapped around each other, creating this one image, this one figure, this one humanoid creature. And I really like that backstory to him. His design as well, with the different masks. You get a different mask randomly from him. That it, you know, when you kill him, that drops. The lanterns hanging off of him. Cool boss room, like I said, giant sarcophagus, loads of bones in there. You climb to the top of that to then descend the Tomb of Giants. Not D, definitely not D, because I don't think he's as bad as what's going to go in there. So yeah, Pinwheel's really cool. I'm actually tempted, but there would absolutely be riots in the comments if that was the case. But I know it's my opinion. I could do it if I wanted to, but the fights. Is it that bad though? He spawns multiple versions of himself. The soundtrack's quite creepy. Not the best, but quite creepy. It's fit for the boss. The thing dragging it down though is the fact that he's so easy to kill at that stage in the game. And you know, it's over in a flash. It's a split second. It's Pinwheel, but he's become a meme. He's quite iconic in and of himself. I am so tempted to put it into B, but can I realistically do it? He's got quite a few elements going for him. People may disagree, of course. You know, feel free to let me know in the comments what you guys feel about it. But yeah, we've got to leave him in C. We'll put him in C tier for a boss. I've still got to keep my senses here. Okay. I might actually end up making this video in a few segments just so I can take a bit of a breather. So we're probably going to cut away and come back in just a moment, just before we move on to C, because I realise we've been going on for 43 minutes, but at least it's an in-depth look, right? If that's the kind of thing that you enjoy, then I'm sure you'll like it. But we will cut away. I will edit all this into one video, but we will cut away. Okay, we are back. Little cut there. We're back at it again now. We can continue with this list, and I swear, when I loaded this up again to continue, I'm so damn close to putting Pinwheel in tier B, guys. Seriously, I think all in all, it gets too much of a bad rap. Too underrated, in my opinion. I guess the main factor being the fact that he's just so easy to beat at the time that you get there in the game. I feel like that weighs in heavily as a factor for the vast majority of people, and that's why he gets put there. But during my breakdown before the cutaway, I feel like, you know, he gets too much of a bad rap. I feel like, all in all, it's not that bad. And if he's there, why does the Moonlight Butterfly deserve to be there? I guess because it's more appropriate for the time where you fight it, right? The time that you fight it. So, I don't know. I was tempted to put Pinwheel in low B, and to be honest, I actually might do. I guess it's just not much of a fight, though, is it? That's the thing. From a gameplay point of view, not much goes on because it's so quick. But you can go down there early to get the Rite of Kindling right away, and that's what some people do. And I feel like that could make it more fun for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this, to be honest. Like I thought about it quite a bit during my split away from both portions of the video there. I'm tempted to leave him at the bottom of B because all in all, I don't feel like it's that bad of a boss. I still feel like it's a good boss and, decent overall. It's definitely bottom of B or top of C, without a doubt. Okay, I don't know. He's interesting. He's underrated to me. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna leave him at the top of C. Maybe we'll move him later. We'll see. Moving on anyway, though. Seath the Scaleless. Okay, right away I'm thinking, it's not S tier, but I feel like he's A or B. I feel like Seath is A tier for sure. Yeah, I feel like he's A tier. Incredibly cool design, one of the lords. Interesting backstory as well with his intimacy with Guinevere, and we'll come to that a little later on as well. You know what I mean? But yeah, very cool looking boss. Quite an interesting story. You see him betraying the dragons in the opening cutscene. Interesting ties with Guinevere and Priscilla, like I say. Blind dragon reads Braille with his tongue to learn. Very interesting, and the boss fight itself as well is pretty fun. The boss room's amazing, Crystal Cave, super cool looking. He flies into the room, he can curse you, he can throw all of his big, thick, wiggly limbs around. And he can bounce you into the air with his, crystalline magic on the floor. And of course, you've got that encounter with him at the start as well, where it's a mandatory kill, so to speak, without, performing a certain jump to glitch your way, to bypass that fight, basically. But it is a glitch, so, it's not a legitimate portion of the game, so to speak, so we're not really counting that. But yeah, the main fight where you get the mandatory death, of course, we are fighting that. I'm just talking about the skip here. I'm rambling, I know, just ignore that. Yeah, very fun fight. So you've got the 2 encounters with him there, and then you end up locked in the cell. I feel like the way that entire fight and process plays out is pretty fun. And then, of course, you get the fight at the end there as well. And you've got to destroy the crystal to actually deal damage to him. I think it's an interesting fight. I think it's cool. It's an A-tier fight for me, to be totally honest. Now, where do we put him on this list, though? He doesn't go above Sif. I don't believe he goes above the Kings, in my opinion, either. But maybe above the Golem? Interesting. Do I put him above the Golem? I know, it's interesting. You hear Logan try and work towards Seath as well. Seath, there's quite a bit going on with Seath. I like him. I quite like his story and influence on the game, to be honest. Where do we put him, though? Does he go above the Golem? You don't go above the Kings, but at least we know he's either side here. He's either one above or one below the Golem, so far at least. Yeah, I'll put him one above the Golem. Okay, moving forward. Asylum Demon. I think it's solid B tier. And it will be the bottom of B tier here. First boss of the game, I don't really think you can consider it anything below standard, to be honest, because it is the first boss of the game. It's the opening to Dark Souls. That will be your first encounter with a boss. A large amount of people, I bet, would have just stayed in that room, not realising there's an escape over to that side, and tried to fight him from the get-go in that room. Decent fight, kind of standard-ish, but I feel like the character fits the bill for what it is. It's a demon. It's the Asylum Demon. He's patrolling the asylum, making sure no one's escaping, no one's going through that front door with his big pilgrim's key. And of course, it introduces mechanics to you, like the plunging attack, so on and so forth. Cool fight. I think that's okay. Solid B tier fight. Nothing less, nothing more kind of thing. Just standard bread and butter kind of thing. Next, you have the Stray Demon. Now, where am I putting him? I think that's another standard B tier fight. And you know what? We'll move him above the Asylum Demon because he's got more stuff going on. Quite interesting. Very alike in a certain dimension, in the fact that he is also patrolling the cells of the asylum, making sure no undead escape. He is called the Stray Demon, as you do kind of stumble across him randomly. As you return to the asylum, you fall through the floor in the asylum demon's boss room, end up with a stray demon. The fight itself is very similar to the um, asylum demon, but of course this one's got his big, you know, catalyst with him where he can cast his magic spells. It does look like fire, but it is actually magical damage, I believe. And of course he can slam you with it as well. His big wand. It's AOE. The magical explosion is at least not the regular physical attack. It's AOE, and you're in kind of a tight room, so you've got to play around that. A lot of people, I bet, when they fought him for the first time, were cursing about the trying to get the hell out of his range. But once you are familiar with the fight, you end up doing it no problem. There's a mandatory fall damage when you come through. Overall, basically, it's not interesting enough, I don't think. I mean, it is quite cool the way it plays out, the way it's random. You just fall through the ground, you stumble across him randomly. But I don't think there's enough to it for it to be A tier, personally. Still a cool encounter, though. B tier, solid fight for me. Negatives to it? I don't think there's too many. I just don't think it's interesting enough to be A tier. I guess you could, the boss room's not too interesting, but it is at the same time because you're on the bottom level of the asylum, or one of the lower levels at least before you escape, and you actually see it when you leave the cell at the start of the game. You can look through to the right and see him walking around in there. He's always there. Solid B tier fight. I don't think there's too many negatives. People may complain about the AOE, but get good. I guess. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say there. I feel like it is avoided, easily enough if you do learn the fight. Though he has bounced me around with it a couple of times before, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think there's too much negative about him. Something to be said as well about these two. Both cool design. I love the design of the demons here, and we will be moving on to another demon in a moment. But yeah, both interesting. Both interesting. Standard B tier, solid class, and I feel like that may end up being a routine for how we perceive the demons in the game here. Yeah, like the visual appearance. Would have put them above Butterfly and likes of Nito and Gaping Dragon. Probably not interesting enough, so to speak, to go higher than that. So we'll leave them two there. Tyrus Demon, once again, I will put it on B, but I may move it around. I think it's a solid fight. I do feel like it's really good. You're on an interesting like castle wall kind of scenario, where once again space is constricted, and it's in most cases the second fight of the game. If you go the standard direction, so to speak, and it once again initiates, and drums into your mind the learning process of how to approach certain aspects of the game, which FromSoft are so great at doing in terms of their development and analytical assessment of how an area should play out or how a boss should play out. And what I mean by this is, you've just learnt the plunging attack with the Asylum Demon. You come here, you can lure the Tyrus Demon back from the fight, climb up the ladders, kill the undead soldiers as well, of course. Preferably before pulling the Tyrus Demon, and then use the plunging attack again. You learn, or you get to use again what you've just learned, which is brilliant. Simple, it's quite a simple concept, really, just to do something like that, but so key and so smart at the same time for them to do that there, where I feel like a lot of developers would not really pay attention to the tiny details like that, and that's what I feel like this game as a whole does fantastic, and it clearly does with its bosses here as well. So that's a concept of the Tyrus Demon that I find really cool. Interesting design as well to the boss. Fun boss. You've of course got the black firebomb tactic. He can knock you off. I mean, it's actually a she as well, right? I can't remember where that lore gets picked up from, but I feel like, yeah, it does mention somewhere, or I believe it's inferred that it is actually a female demon, the Tyrus Demon. So she can knock you off the castle wall as well. That's interesting. That's happened to myself a couple of times, I will admit. Fun fight. Solid B as well, I say. I don't know whether it's great. I don't know if I'd put it in A, but B tier. And where would I put it on this list? By the way, B is still really good. Don't get me wrong here, guys. As I mentioned before earlier in the video, just in case you're skipping through, I will reiterate, because I know it's a long one. And that's just the nature of the beast, I guess. But I will reiterate here that B is still good. It's still a good boss fight, really good. C is just when it gets a bit, it's lacking something. It's, not great. And then D is like not good. Like D is just bad. Not good at all, really. And A, of course, is excellent, and S is god tier. Like, for example, something I don't think I mentioned earlier, in fact, with Samoan Ornstein, I consider that to be my favourite boss in games, period. That is the greatest boss fight ever, for me, personally. And that's how it's worked out so far, the list. That's where we're up to at the moment. I'm quite liking the way it looks, to be honest, guys. And right now, I put him above the Asylum Demon? I feel like they're kind of... The Stray Demon and the Asylum Demon, they're kind of cool for the boss room, right? Or, well, their position, where they're actually located, and it's the initiation, the start to the game. With the Asylum Demon, I feel like that's cool. That does weigh heavily in its favour. So I'm going to leave the Asylum Demon at the bottom of B right now. Because some people may... I don't know, it's my list, but I'm just taking into account all variables here. And I'm not basing it off some people's thoughts, but I'm just saying a factor which probably puts it towards the bottom of B is a lot may consider it to be kind of simplistic and plainish. So that's why we'll leave that there at the bottom of B for now. Next, also, this next one is as easy as me putting Samoan Ornstein in S tier, like at the top of the list. It goes in D. Bed of Chaos. It's sad to do. I know, my favourite game of all time, I've got to put a boss in D tier, the bottom tier, the trash tier. It tells you something if the game developers admit that the fight was not exactly how they wanted it to be, and that they weren't too proud of it. And that tells the whole story basically. And of course, you may disagree. You might love the fight. You've got every right in the world to disagree with the devs on that front. It is your opinion at the end of the day. But I'm going to agree with the devs. I don't think it's great. The Bed of Chaos. It's just. It can be funny in a way to a certain degree, but I've been slapped silly, like just slapped down them pits so many times that I care to admit that it goes in D tier. It's just not a fun fight. I guess the coolest thing would be the backstory of the Bed of Chaos. How it came to be this flaming creature that grew into like a tree demon type thing, through the Witch of Izalith's soul and the Chaos Ember and everything that ties into it. So I guess that's the coolest part of it, the story and the way that the boss actually looks. But the fight plays out so bad from a mechanical and gameplay point of view that it goes in D tier. It's trash. You've got to poke the 2 points either side of the tree, and as soon as you hit one of them, she powers up. The floor starts breaking. You're falling down it. That you're trekking all the way back to the fight. You're falling down it again. You're walking back. You fall down again. You walk back, and it repeats. And then, of course, you eventually get to destroy the other one. You probably get flame blasted from the ground, bounced up into the air, and down the pit again. And you've got another walk back. And don't get me wrong, I've done the. In addition to dying multiple times on the boss, I have done it on first attempts before as well. But it's just so temperamental and awkward. You can pause and quit game out of the boss fight, and then it puts you right back at the start where you can slide down again, and one of the points on the boss still remains destroyed. So you can then... sorry, I've just got to blow my nose here. One sec. Okay, and we're back there. Sorry, I really needed to take care of my schnozer right there. But it's done now, it's good. But yeah, you can quit out, slide back down the platform to enter the boss fight. And one of the points will remain destroyed, so then you can go and kill the other, quit out again, and then just approach to jump onto the log. That's the thing, you've got to platform to the end of the fight as well, whack your way through all the branches and kill the little maggot at the end. Overall, just not a great fight. D tier, worst fight in the game, actually. Yeah. And that's pretty much that, to be honest. The music's not great. The boss room is, it's okay. It's appropriate for the area, but strongest points of the boss, backstory, and visual appearance, even though I think there is more backstories that are interesting and also bosses that look better as well. So all in all, D tier, worst fight in the game. Moving on, Calamite. Hmm. I feel like this could heavily vary depending on the individual. I feel like some people might have it here, and some people might have it here. I think depending on who you ask, it floats between A and C. To be honest, let me just put it in B right now while I talk about him. Calamite, probably the boss that I've killed least in the game, to be honest. I don't do him every playthrough. Um, interesting. Super cool looking boss. Like, that's what I mean. Interesting appearance for sure. It's very cool how you actually see various clips of him and kind of meet him before the boss fight itself. You go in there, he flames you up. You go and talk to Goth, he shoots him down. You've got the super cool cutscene there. So the story of the dragon and the way that you're introduced to him is very cool. The way it plays out. Yeah, interesting. The boss room is quite cool. You know you're in a more, well, you're in Dark Root Basin, aren't you, basically? Um, but this time there's no, flooded pit. There's no water. You're in like a dry. I mean, there might be a little bits of streams and bits of puddles here and there, but you get what I mean, right? You've not got the whole massive pool with a Hydra, and the endless pit. You've just got like a dry Dark Root Basin that you're fighting in. Big area, open arena. I feel like that's quite cool, especially when you're fighting a dragon like that. Super cool looking character, like I said. Great introduction. Backstory, okay, yeah, it's not bad. And the way the fight plays out, this is the thing. Some of the moves are really interesting, especially when he picks you up and flips you around with his, something else that I just remembered there as well. Did I mention the tail cut with Seath? You can cut his tail off and get the Moonlight Greatsword, of course. Another addition to him. I don't know why I just remembered that as I was talking about Calamite, but maybe because he's a dragon as well. You've got the tail cut with Seath as well. Awesome. Moonlight Greatsword, cool as hell. And then you see the flopping limb that you've just cut off of him. Super cool. Seath Satyr. Sadly, Calamite does not meet that standard in my opinion. So far, at least, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, he's got a couple of cool moves where he uses his Calamitous attack, or whatever you want to call it, where he lifts you up and he flips you around. You take a bunch of damage. And he kind of sits on his hind legs. I really like the visual appearance of the boss, the way he's presented. Very cool. In terms of the fight, though, I feel like there's a lot of running from the fire, of course, and the flame. Sometimes, I guess, unless you can get him in, position, keep yourself well positioned around him. You can kind of find yourself caught out with the flame when he jumps in the air and blasts it down on you. You've just got to sprint away from all that black flame. I just don't know if it warrants an A. Maybe my standards are higher than, others. I don't know, but there is a few dimensions to him, though. How you go in there, first of all. And, I'm going to put him at the top of B tier. I'll put him at the top of B. Does he go above Gaping Dragon, though? I don't think he goes below Nito. Does he go above Gaping Dragon, though, in my opinion? I really enjoy the Gaping Dragon fight for whatever reason. The whole aspect of it. I'm keeping him below Gaping Dragon. Calamite goes in B tier between Nito and Gaping Dragon. Cool fight. I just don't think it's special enough to get the excellence of A tier. Still a solid fight. Calamite's cool. Like I said, I like a lot of the stuff outside of the boss fight as well. The stuff with Goth, about speaking to him about Calamite. The cutscene with shooting him down. The boss arena. The fight's just kind of, it's good, it's okay, but I don't think it's excellent. That's all. But I also don't think it's, it's also certainly nowhere near bottom of B or, bad and below. So we'll keep him in B there. I feel like that's fine. Decent analysis there of him, I think. I feel like that's okay. I'm just trying to think of anything else. There's got a tail cut on him as well, haven't you? That is pretty cool. Yeah, and you get the sword from him. You do get another weapon from him. All in all, though, I don't know whether it's A. Maybe, like I said, maybe he is A. I feel like it's a cool dragon fight. It is really good. Oh, guys, I'm stuck. It's either top of B or bottom of A. We'll keep him at the top of B for now, above the gaping dragon as well. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like that's right. You know what? He could actually squeeze up there. Yeah, for everything, for the whole, encompassing. No, he goes in B for me. Top of B. I know, sorry guys, I'm a bit indecisive, but Gaping Dragon don't want to give up his spot now, does he? There we go. He thought he had it back again for a second. Yeah, all in all, very, very, very good fight. Top of B, not A though. Manus, without doubt, S tier in my opinion for so many reasons, and he may actually jump above a couple of these. Not Ornstein and Smo though. Manus, Father of the Abyss, amazing, amazing fight. From a gameplay point of view, fantastic, super cool, amazing. You've got all kinds of melee attacks. You've got, the smash with his catalyst. You've got the wombo combo with the fist. You've got the reach around, no pun intended. You've got various dark magic attacks. It's the end of a brilliant, beautiful DLC. The boss room is super cool as well. You're right at the fringes of the abyss, basically. So damn cool. The area leading up to the fight is great. The backstory of Manus is amazing as well, with the Dark Soul and the Pygmy and all that kind of stuff wrapping up inside of it. Super amazing, cool backstory. I don't really think I've got anything bad to say about it. That's the thing. If you've got a fight where you don't really nitpick anything, it's S tier. It's absolutely God tier. The visual design of the guy, amazing. S tier fight for me all day long. God tier fight. Funny how the DLC actually brings in two of them as well. Two God tier fights. I mean, we've still got one to come here next. Who knows where that's going to go. But two of the DLC fights jump right into God tier. And you know what? He's better than Artorias. That fight is better than Artorias. Which does put him above Gwyn as well. It's kind of sad. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Maybe I've got a heavy allegiance to Gwyn. I don't know. A lot of nostalgia tied to this game, guys. But that can be said for the other characters as well, not just Gwyn, of course. But would I put... See, this is the decision that I'm still stuck on right now. Manus definitely goes above both of them for me. The story is so cool. I love it. It's probably more interesting than Artorias is to me, in my opinion at least. Though it may not have as wide exposure. It may be more interesting. The boss arena is cool. It's amazing. It's better than both these boss arenas in my opinion. It provides a good challenge. His moveset, his variation of attacks and things he can do is amazing. He's just awesome. It's a God tier fight. It seriously is the closest it can get to Ornstein and Smo for me. And do put Gwyn above Artorias. At the same time, hear me out here as well. At the same time as I feel that Artorias is a God tier fight, it is. You heard me break it down earlier. Amazing top tier fight. I kind of feel that it does get slightly overrated to a certain degree, even though it still remains God tier. I feel like people push it as the absolute pinnacle, where I feel like these three are probably better. I don't know. I'm still undecided on this. I've got to remember why I put Artorias above Gwyn in the first place. I feel like that's fine. We'll leave it like that for now. Yeah. Those two are dancing, I swear, but we'll leave Artorias above Gwyn for now. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, no, that is right, actually. That is right. That's okay. Sanctuary Guardian. You know what? That goes in A tier for me. It seriously does. First boss of the DLC. Once again, super interesting moveset in my opinion. I think they pay a good attention to detail with this fight as well, FromSoft. I'll just detail a couple of things. There's various elements to this one, actually. The boss arena is super cool. It's like the entrance to the gardens, the entrance to the forest. Little puddles of water around. It's a very shallow pit of water that you're in. And he's the garden of the sanctuary that you've got to reach with to make it to Elizabeth. Very cool fight. When I'm talking about the small attention to detail, when the lightning hits the water, it spreads a little bit and can catch you like that because the water's going to carry the current, the electricity. I'm not sure how much of these hand movements you can see on screen at the moment, by the way, or during this whole video. But regardless, I'm sure you still know what I'm talking about here because I'm, you know, trying to detail it with my hands, and I'm also enunciating it as well. So no doubt you understand where I'm coming from, regardless of whether you see my hands or not. I'm still talking at least. But yeah, anyway, the water carries the current, the electricity. Really cool detail there. And there's a point as well during the fight where he does his wing attack that can stagger you, which is super cool. But if you actually make it out of the way and then chug immediately, he'll forget that. Like, he'll just quickly catch you off guard. He'll jolt away, you know, snap himself out of being, you know, paused by, you know, letting his wings recover, and he will charge you, he will headbutt you, which is super cool. I think that's after the wing attack. Yeah, if you decide to chug right after dodging that, he actually like cottons right onto you, and then turns and goes for that immediate charge to catch you off guard. While you think he's recovering and you're chugging, he actually snaps himself out of it and goes for you, which I find really cool. So the little details in this fight are very good. He's got aerial prowess as well. He can fly around the room and shoot you with beams. He's got a tail cut on him. The visual appearance of the boss is cool, comprised of a freaking boar, a lion, a harpy and a scorpion, whatever, you know, a bunch of creatures in there. Super cool looking fight. I feel like it fights cool. Varied moveset, like I said, good attention to detail, good boss room, good visual aspects of the fight, and if you beat him and then return afterwards, you get to fight two of them at once. It's an A tier fight for me. It's fan freaking tastic. In fact, maybe not that high. It's just overall a great fight. I know it may go somewhat overlooked because it's just the starting boss of the DLC, but when you break it down like this, there is a lot to it. Really, really solid fight for their entrance to the DLC. That's the first boss of the DLC. Where do I put him, though? No, I feel like that is a freaking good fight. It seriously is. It goes above Seath and Golem. I don't know if it goes above Four Kings, and I don't think it'll go above Sith though. No, I don't think it can. But mechanically, from a gameplay point of view, the Sanctuary Guardian is freaking good, guys. Very good in my opinion. Above the Kings though. No, it goes there. Middle of 80. Fantastic fight. Excellent fight though, in my opinion. Now here comes the surprise for you guys. The gargoyles, okay? That fight is fantastic for countless reasons. In fact, when I've been thinking about doing this video, funnily enough, the most I have got to say, and once again, I know the video is long, I'm going to try and not spend forever on it, while, you know, also trying to be as analytical as I possibly can. When I was thinking about this video, this was the boss that I could talk about the most for whatever reason. When I was thinking about things, the gargoyle fight, it's god tier. It is absolutely fantastic. Okay, hopefully I don't just lose everything that I was thinking about this boss, but I love it so much. Got to try and calm myself down and just go with it. First of all, we'll talk about the scenery. In fact, no, we won't. We'll just jump right into the boss. It's the first moment in the game where you fight two, you know, you've got two targets, two bosses at once. I know it's one boss fight, but you've got two gargoyles, two targets in a boss fight at once. Fantastic point in the game. You know, you've got the two targets at once, so it will provide a big challenge to a new player, a really big challenge. You know, you've got to play around, you know, fighting a couple of things at once here. Which is a great introduction, you know, because it is early on in the game. It's a great early-ish, you know, early introduction to how hard this game is going to be for that new player. But also, in addition to that, for returning players from Demon Souls, like myself, you get thrown on into the game early on against two targets, whereas in Demon Souls you had the man-eaters, and those were your two targets. That was the two target boss fight that you played off in that game. But this time you're getting surprised with it early on. So even for returning players from the Demon Souls series, or the Demon Souls game, sorry, From Soft are like, okay, here you go. You played Demon Souls. If you played that, here's a good challenge for you still, because you've got a two-target boss fight here that even you may struggle with, and it does provide the challenge early on for a player that just came from Demon Souls or a brand new player. But it balances it out perfectly because you've not got the two targets right away. You've got to get one of the first gargoyle down health enough. And then the second one jumps into the fight, so it does give you a bit of leeway. In that sense, to kind of nerf it for the new player a little bit, to make it not too hard, so to speak. I don't know, I just love the dynamic of the fight, where you've got the two targets at once. They both play off each other really well, one with the flaming attacks and the other more melee focused. It's a fantastic fight. It's so well orchestrated with that timing, like I said, of entering the fight and the two different kinds of attacks. But as well as that, it's a nice, solid step before the Bell of Awakening. It's a great challenge before ringing the first bell, to feel like you've really accomplished something. Like, oh, we've done it, we've beat the gargoyles, and now we can ring the bell, we've accomplished something. That is fantastic. And it's just an all-around, yes, feel-good moment. I'd say the first kind of big, yes, come on moment out of... the earliest moment like that in the game, I'd say. I mean, I know you may feel like that beating a couple of the earlier bosses as well, like Tyrus and Asylum, which you can, but that is the first real big one, in my opinion. Now, moving on from that, the music. One of my favourite tracks in the game, personally. Fan-freaking-tastic track. Love the gargoyle theme. So good as well, they brought the fight back in Dark Souls 2. That's how good the boss fight was. There you go. As well as that... The scenery, you're at the top of Undead Parish. You can look over all of the Burg and Parish. On the top of you're on the top of a church building. You've got the great views around you. The sun beaming down. You can look across everything around you. You can see Sen's Fortress up here. The entrance to Anor Londo there. The scenery is brilliant. What a room! Once again, space is limited because you're on a rooftop. You can get pushed off. That's an element of the fight. So you've got to try and play around two of them in a confined space where you can get knocked off and die right away. Just everything put together about this fight is fantastic. It is god tier. In my opinion, it's fantastic. Once again, visually, I feel like I'm saying this for every boss, but maybe that's because the design is so good. Visually, I love the look of the gargoyles, and I love the idea of the gargoyles as well. Not just physically, like how they visually look, which, like I've just said, they look great, but the idea of them, they are kind of stonish, and you see them break out of that stone kind of form during the cutscene, as they are on top of like a bell tower, as you would expect as well, before they jump down. And I love the way they smash the church top, and then growl at you as you come through. It's just, I can't fault the fight. It is amazing. It is fantastic. In fact, like, seriously, guys, I love it that much. Maybe it goes above... It doesn't go above these two, but maybe it goes above these two as an all-in-all kind of... It's iconic as well, I feel like. People may think, oh, it's just the gargoyles. Yeah, it is now, but when you played it for the first time, was it exactly like that? And once again, upon a deeper look, upon a breakdown, like we are doing now, I feel like it is stronger than both of these. The way that these two kind of are superior is because of the backstory and the lore behind it. But this is a simplistic... I mean, not simplistic, because it's not really. There's tons of elements to it, like I've just been going through. But this, as a early boss, doesn't have as much story significance, so to speak, is absolutely amazing. Amazing. God tier, S tier, without a doubt. But yeah, probably not as much as these four, actually, now that I think about it, because of those reasons. But all in all, as a fight, and everything else that I've just been talking about, all these other elements, it's probably better than these two. I don't know. We'll leave it in. I'm struggling. But it's definitely S tier. We may come back at the end and do a bit of a revision in terms of where we're placing things, but we'll leave it there for now. That is what it is. Excellent fight. Hopefully, I've not forgotten points because there was a lot of stuff that I had to mention with them, and I feel like I've gone through most of it, if not all of it. Another thing, your first, opportunity to summon with Solaire, and you can get Lore Trek in it as well. So it's world building at the same time. This fight is legendary. It seriously is that good. I find it hard, man. I'm tempted to do this actually. I don't know. We may have a rejig of that at the end. Oh, I don't know. We'll leave it like that for now. These three, man, they're causing me trouble. But yeah, like world building at the same time. You're bringing Solaire into the mix. You bring Lord Trek into the mix as well. That can also do the fight with you. So, although providing a challenge, it grants you the first proper scenario of help. I know you can bring in people from online and whatnot, but I'm talking about within the game. You can use in-game features or like NPC kind of single player features to bring in help. So if you are struggling with it, you can say, Solaire, come on. If you become human and Lord Trek as well, if you manage to free him. The fight does so much. The fight does so damn much. It seriously does. In fact, if it had more story and lore implications, it would be over these two. It seriously would. But there it goes. Okay, quick sip of water. That's the one which I feel may have caught a lot of people out, but that is such an important fight, guys. Seriously is. So good. Capra Demon. Where do we go? Where are we gonna put him? A tier. A tier for me. Great fight. The best example, in fact, of like confined space panic. Like seriously, a lot of people may find it annoying because you've got the dogs leaping over you, they're blocking your way, they're biting you, and if you've got no poise, they're stunning you. And while that's happening, the Capra Demon's bringing down his machete on top of you, and you're dead. But such a cool fight. I love the panic that ensues when you go through that door. Every wall is like within 5 feet of you. And he's coming towards you slowly. The dogs are sprinting all over the place. The panic in the mind of the player at that moment is insanely good. It's so funny. It's such a great tactic to make the player panic. I love that fight. Capra Demon is just a massive like goat-headed demon, wielding his two great machetes. Simplistic in his moves, I guess you could say. But that's not always a bad thing. I think it works well in that scenario because you don't want to overburden the fight and add too much to where it looks like a bit of a cluster. Even, the way it plays out. Some people may feel like it's a cluster because of the... if they struggle with it maybe, or they've got a lot of dogs hitting you and all that stuff. I've been there. I do know what it's like. But so without overcumbering the fight, so to speak, with adding too much of a wild moveset with him, he's just got his regular slashes and swings, and they throw a jump attack on top of that. So I feel like that more simplistic moveset for the Capra Demon benefits the fight. That's the thing. More always isn't always better, guys. In my opinion, that's certainly not the case. So I feel like it's well thought out, the way that he fights. And he's got a run as well, so he can chase you. So all in all, I feel like it's a great fight because it also, in terms of the boss room, like I said, I love it. It keeps it close and confined, makes the player panic. If you make it to the stairs, though, you're in with a chance, and you don't always need to do it that way, of course. But that will have been the tactic for most new players. Make it to the stairs, and then you can lure the dogs up, hit them as they come through. So that little element, that piece of design there, just putting a simple staircase at the back of the room, adds just a whole new dimension to the fight. It's like you get out a jail card if you can manage to get up there. You can take care of the dogs, and he can still chase you. You can fall down sometimes, and you can plunge on him. But if you fall down, sometimes he can fall on you and plunge you. It's just really cool the way it plays out. The music, although not being my favourite track, is kind of one that makes you, fits with a theme of panic. So you've got the music building that. You've got the confined space in the boss room doing that. You've got the multiple targets with the dogs and the actual boss of the Capra Demon coming towards you doing that. A really holistic approach in what they set out to do. Very good and focused. A-tier fight, excellent in my opinion. Great fun boss with the dogs, room, music, idea of creating that kind of scene of panic in a confined space, excellent. Staircases you get out of jail, once again, they put a lot of thought into the fight, excellent. I love the Capra Demon fight. And that's that. Oh, but where do we put it? This A tier is strong as hell as well by the looks of it. They would put it above Gollum. I'll probably do it, and I'll put it above Seath as well. Do I put it above these? I don't know. Excuse me. Once again, I love how the Capra Demon's just like a random demon. Not too much backstory to him. Just a demon, and he's in the lower berg. There he is, deal with it. It's one of them. So cool. And I think he actually does deserve the spot there. I don't think I'd put him above these. But above Seath, yeah. Yeah, I think he deserves to be above Seath. And the Golem there as well, I'd say. Oh, do I put him above the Guardian, though? It's hard. No, I'll leave that there for now. That's good. Okay, what have we got going on here? Damn, we've got a lot of flaming, flaming chaos enemies to come, haven't we? This is the Centipede Demon. C, and a low C, in my opinion. Yeah, because that Centipede Demon, that's Ceaseless. Daughter of Chaos, Quelaag. And the Chaos Fire Sage. The Fire Sage Demon, sorry. So that's the Centipede there. Although, looking at it, you might not know what it is. Yeah, I'm going to put it in C, and it goes below Pinwheel, because Pinwheel's punch into a B, I tell you. He may just do that at the end of this video. It is. I've got to go with my gut. I've got to put him there. Low B. C for the Centipede Demon. A couple of reasons, really. I feel like I don't think it's the most fun fight by any means. In fact, it's probably one of the least fun fights in the game, I guess you could say. In my opinion, it's just I was lucky in a sense because I found out that I found the way to where you need to go in that fight. Instead of fighting him at the start of the room, which I feel like it seems like 90% of people did, I thought this cannot be it. It cannot take place here, surely. And I could see the path like kind of leading you along a little bit. So literally on my first attempt, blind, I managed to find that area around to the right where you've got more of an open space to fight, which does make the fight a lot better, much more breathable. So you can fight him there, but when you walk in and most people are fighting him at the front of the door and the camera's spinning, you can't see a thing. Of course you can take off the auto adjust when something clips or, you hit a certain angle on a wall or whatever, you can turn that off. So when I say spinning, it's not literally spinning. What I mean is you just can't see what's going on because he's on you, he's whacking you, you're in lava, you're burning. It's just a cluster. That fight actually is a cluster mess. So here's an example. Capra, cluster done well. Chaos, Centipede Demon, cluster done poorly. There's not enough room. There's no room to fight him at the start. And, like, it's all over you. You can't see a thing. He's swinging on you. And it's just not really very fun. And also the way that he actually fights, even when... So that's that portion of the fight. Putting that aside now, that's how it goes. It's not great. Even when you get over to the right-hand side, it's not awesome. It's not the most fun fight because as you're trying to lure him in, away from the lava, because of course you can't step on the lava because you're going to burn and die. You can't fight him out in the open because you've not got the orange ring from him yet, the charred orange ring that you get from defeating him or scything off one of his limbs. Even when you're over on that side, it's still not the best fight. He jumps up and slams you a little bit. He'll, as he's approaching you originally, he'll charge you with his extendable centipede fist from the start, and sometimes he'll try and bait you with that multiple times before he gets to land where you can actually properly hit him. And it just doesn't play out all in all that well, in my opinion. The room is kind of interesting. The fact that it's just a big lava pit, but you can't, so atmospherically it could do the job, and because of the visuals, there's big lava pit, you've got the kind of charred rock and stone around your little flaming embers, sparkling inside of them, and you've got this massive fire demon approaching you. But so atmospherically it does fit the bill, it does its job, though the way the fight plays out and mechanically I just don't think it's all that interesting. C tier, not good. I think it's a kind of bad fight in my opinion. Is there anything else? So yeah, the room's okay. You can't really utilise walking on the lava though, but you can if you cut off one of his limbs and quickly equip the ring and run out there. But once you've got him on the solid land, there's no real reason to do that anyway. Unless you're in a panic and you need to heal and you want to get away from him super quick. So you get what I'm saying, right? It's just not awesome. The music, no, meh, not good. It's just not an overall good, or not a good fight. So I'd put that in C tier for sure. Not awesome. Just thinking if there's anything else that I've missed there. I think I've pretty much got my point across. It's not great. It is kind of cool how you can get over to that other area, but yeah, no, I'd say that's that. I think I've pretty much made my point there. Okay, yeah, no, visually, sorry. That's the last thing, right? Yeah, other than that, moving on to the visuals, yeah, I'd say that's that. Visually, once again, cluster. I mean, he does look kind of cool in a way, from a distance when you can actually make out everything. He's part centipede, part demon, both. And he's got his chargeable limb, like I said, and you can cut bits off him that scurry around and die. And I don't know why I'm acting that out. I probably look silly as hell, but so visually, he's okay. I wouldn't say he's amazing either, but there is a couple of interesting little tidbits with him. All in all, though, he's just not great. Yeah, like I said, clustered. You can't make out too much of him. He's got his, demon bits and centipede bits. Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything there. C tier boss, not great, not good, really. But not bad enough where it's totally... I mean, maybe there's an argument. Maybe there is an argument for that, actually. Speaking of which, Ceaseless. Now, this one hurts me, man. I don't want to... Yeah, Centipede's trash fight, Dieter. Once again, we may rejig at the end, but we'll see. Ceaseless Discharge. I want to put him in B so badly because I feel sorry for the guy. I feel like he gets a bit of a bad rap, but I don't think it's great. It's not a great fight. Of course, he's standing there. He's not harming anyone. He's just looking at the corpse of one of his sisters, which, this is the thing. The most interesting thing for Ceaseless is the backstory to me. I think there was a reference in... Maybe I'm wrong. I was thinking, I'm sure there was a little bit of a reference in Dark Souls 3 to him at some point as well. I could quite easily be wrong because I've not even finished that blind playthrough by the time I'm making this video, so I could be wrong there, but I think we stumbled across a bit of that. I don't know. Regardless, moving away from that, we're focusing on Dark Souls 1 here anyway. Yeah, Ceaseless. The backstory for him... Yeah, definitely. The backstory for him is the most important thing of the fight to me. The most interesting thing, I should say to myself. I was thinking as well about his visual appearance and whatnot, but that kind of ties into the backstory as well. So, yeah, it is the backstory. The brother of the Daughters of Chaos, he's staring at the corpse of one of his sisters there with a gold hem set. A super sad scene when you think about it, really. And the backstory of him... I think, what was it now? He dropped something. Was it the ring? Was it the... I can't remember exactly what it was. It may have something to do with a Chaos Ember or some kind of soul or the orange charred ring, but they gave it to him. The sisters gave it to him, or maybe the Witch of Izalith gave it to him as protection, and I think he dropped it or discarded it in some way, and he ended up transforming and warping into this huge, giant, messed up demon. So his backstory is really sad because he wasn't always like that. He's not a demon, he's just a disfigured soul, which is super sad. And the way that you see him, all somber, just staring at the corpse, breathing slowly, and you can really feel the pain there, I think. So they bring Ceaseless to life in that sense. I feel like that's really interesting, which is why he looks like he does as well. He warped into this massive beast, this behemoth. They're the coolest points of the fight. The worst points of the fight is the fight itself. Or the boss, I should say, because we're not just looking at the fight, that's what I mean. We're looking at the overarching, boss itself. But the fight being the worst part of it, I guess. You pick up the gold hem stuff, he triggers. If you wait there, of course, he swings, but just stand where you are and he will not hit you. He'll miss his first hit, and then you can go round him and bait him off the cliff. Now this it's a negative and a positive at the same time for me, because it's a negative in the sense that it's a gimmick, so to speak, but gimmicks can be cool at the same time, I feel like, sometimes. And I feel like this one still is at the same time, but I'm going to make a couple of points here. I feel like it's cool because you get to bait this massive creature along, and I feel like it kind of fits with his personality in a way, and story. He kind of, takes the bait, he comes along to you, and he just tries to leap over. Yeah, I feel so sorry for him at the same time. And he tries to leap over off this ledge to try and hit you and slam you, and then you can whack his arm a bunch of times, and he falls off, and that's it. You've got the win. He dies down there from the fall. It's sad. It's a quick gimmick to bypass the boss, but at the same time, I feel like it's a cool gimmick. So depending on the individual, it could spin positively and negatively. My mind kind of switches on it. I go back and forth with it. Sometimes I feel like it's negative because it's a quick skip by it. But no, I mean not skip, but it's just a gimmick. But on the other degree, I feel like it's kind of cool how they made something like that happen with a boss. He charges over to you and he jumps on the ledge, and then you keep hitting his arm, and then all of a sudden the fight's over. Or you hit him off, he's dead, he's gone. I feel like it played out kind of cool at the same time. Depending on the individual, though, that point of view is going to change. Like I said, I go back and forth with it myself. So that's part of the fight. You can choose to fight him properly, though, and this is what I'm coming on to here as well. It's just not really all that interesting. Like, you can use, or my favourite way to do it when you fight him normally is using that little, what shape is it? It's kind of like that shape. Oh, you can't even see. It's kind of like that shape, reversed for you guys, but you come up this way, and you can go into that little rocky face and come out the other side and then walk around. Instead of walking around the entire edge of the cliff, there's that little, part jutting out from the cliff. With the entrance where you can walk through and meet either side. You can bait him to slam down there and just hide behind the wall and then hit his hand, and then bait him out again and hit his hand. And, it's cool how you can use the environment to your advantage like that. And I feel like it works well with a Gwyn fight when you actually fight him properly. Quotation marks, by the way, because, once again, everyone has different opinions that, people are going to say, oh, well, parrying him is properly anyway. But you understand what I mean. The most standard way to fight him, I guess. I feel like the environment works well in that fight, actually. If you've never tried it, I would recommend it. You can use him to, you can use the pillars, the stalagmites, from where the fire was linked to actually block him a little bit and work around him and fight and roll, and then you've got to bring him to another one, and it is quite cool the way it plays out. But for Ceaseless, it's just constant bait and switch, whereas Gwyn's fight's more dynamic. You're constantly on the move, he's on the move. Sometimes you're out in the open and he's after you. But for Ceaseless, it's just whoop, whoop, just bounce in and out and just hit him. So all in all, whichever way you decide to do the fight, I don't think it's too interesting, too cool of a fight. But all the other stuff like backstory, visual appearance, gimmick sometimes can be positive, negative, and whatnot. And the look of him, I feel like it's quite cool. His backstory is the strongest part of that boss. And the visual appearance, I like the way he looks, but the way the fight plays itself, not too great. Scenery is cool though, I guess. The boss room is kind of cool, but I don't think it's strong enough to be on the B tier here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave him there for now. Right, on to the next one. Quelaag, the daughter of chaos. Where do we put her? A tier. I feel like she's A tier for sure, Quelaag. Not just because of the, you know. No, I feel like she's really fun. Also, boss room, cool as hell. One of the best in the whole game. Giant spider's nest you look up, and like if you go there and look at it when the fight's over, so you can take your time, and look at the way it's all constructed with the eggs and the sides of it and the broken tiles on the floor, mixed with the regular ground and the steps at one side of the room to lead up to the second bell, and a really cool boss room, really cool. Spider's den, you know, with all the eggs. Awesome, awesome. Right at the back end of Blighttown, as it looks like you enter the nest. Awesome. So the boss room is crazy. I feel like the soundtrack, although not being my favourite, does fit well with the boss. Synergizes with it nicely. Very cool, very cool. And next, the way the fight plays out, really fun, and combined with the character design as well. The character design is awesome. Half lady, half flaming spider. What can you say? You know, half beautiful lady, half spider. Absolute amazing combination. Super creative. Great story with tying in with you know, the fair lady and Quilana, the Chaos Witches, Izalith, all that kind of imagery. You know, great tie in there. The way that it fights is cool. If you hit the human portion, like the actual human portion, the lady, she will stagger. If you hit the spider, she doesn't. You know, as like a standard hit, so to speak. So that you hit the spider, it doesn't stagger because it's got the poise. You know, it's like a big armored creature. But if you hit the lady, you know, the whole beast staggers. It's really cool detail there. Varied movesets. You've got the lava spits. You've got the jumping attacks. You've got the AoE explosions. You've got Quelaag swinging a sword down on you. Great boss soul, by the way, to turn into. I know I've not really analysed that for everybody, and you know, I guess it's no, you know, not necessarily a point for everybody, but I'm just, you know, looking at the whole, you know, picking out key points for each fight, so to speak, and as most points as I can, really. But the reason that I'm picking out the soul here for Quelaag is amazing sword. Who doesn't love the Chaos? I mean, of course, you can get the Chaos Blade, but you can get the Fury Sword. You know, absolute, you know, super cool curved sword. A favourite among a lot of people, especially in the earlier days. Flaming curved sword, awesome as hell from her soul. Boss fight, she works incredibly well. Like I've said, everything about her, awesome fight. A tier. I just don't think I'd put her in S tier. However, she's definitely this far up, I'd say. Maybe above the Kings. I just don't know if she can touch Sif, though. But she is good as hell, seriously. Damn, time flies. Jesus, this video is like 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember how long we've done because we've stopped it here and there in between with cuts. You know, once to take a break and once to blow my nose another time. But, yeah, that's fine, though. It's whatevs. But yeah, anyway, that's that. Hopefully I've done a good summation there of Quelaag. Excellent fight. Excellent. A tier, high A tier as well, as you can see. Really freaking good. Man, this list is top heavy. But I feel like the design choices made in Dark Souls 1 were incredibly smart. And as well as that, that's good. So I was just making sure everything was still good on the recording screen there. Were really smart, and I feel like it had a lot of cool, you know, a lot of amazing boss fights. And when broken down properly, like I feel like we've done a decent job here. It truly shows the magic behind the development that FromSoft went for. Yeah, I mean that FromSoft has to be able to create this. Fan freaking tastic. So yeah, that's that, and I hope I've done a good summation there of Quelaag. Awesome, yeah, super cool fight in like always. Have I missed any bits? No, I feel like that's pretty good. Good summation. Now, where would I put her? Sif's just so special, isn't it? Oh, man. Even the tie-ins there with Sif, with the DLC, they even grow his character that way. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. You see him in the DLC. In the Abyss, he's protected by Artorias' shield. That's, how his story goes there. And he howls, he goes to find his master. And whatnot. Like, it's just... The way that Alvina leads you to him as well, it's so cool. Even they advanced his character above boss status, everything about that, the track, the visuals, the way he fights, the detail at the time with Artorias and other bosses with the lore, and yeah, Sif is freaking special. He's probably, I can't see a boss on A tier being above him actually. Quelaag, does she eclipse the Kings and the Guardian? She's above Capra for sure, but is she above these two? Man, the bosses that guard the bells are really good, aren't they? Quelaag and the Gargoyles. Above the Kings. I feel so. Yeah, Quelaag's a cool as hell fight. Iconic as well. Above the Kings and Guardian, I would say. Yeah. Do I do that? Do I put him above the Kings as well? No. 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 That's good. That is good. Next. Ooh, the favourite of many. Priscilla. The love child of Seath and Guinevere. Crossbreed Priscilla. Maybe that'll split them. We'll put her at the end for now. She's not going to go at the end. Does she go in A tier? I mean S tier. No. No, I feel like it's got to be... Maybe, actually. There's a lot of interesting elements with her. No, she can't. If Sif doesn't, she doesn't. Okay, yeah, Priscilla. She's A tier. She's excellent. Yeah, okay. I've been talking for a while here. Priscilla, excellent fight. She really is fantastic. Visuals, story, boss room, the area in the game, like all of it is so cool. Crossbreed Priscilla, she's in the painted world, so totally unique area. She's the boss of the area, the one and only. Super cool look to her design. Giant woman, and you're just like before her feet. She's actually a lot bigger than you'd think. Like, she towers above Gwyn and Artorias. She is massive, but then again, she's like I said, the daughter of the supposed love child of Seath and Guinevere, so she's massive. I love the design, all in white, white hair, massive scythe in a snowy landscape in the painted world. The boss room is cool. You've kind of got this, once again, a Colosseum kind of architecture effect. She turns invisible and you see her feet on the ground to see where she's going and whatnot. Super fun. A certain fight in Dark Souls 3 clearly took heavy influence from this. You've got a tail cut on her. And a cool thing, to get the dagger. I enjoy the fight with the invisibility, and she swings with a scythe, and so on and so forth. Very fun, quite a fun fight. Not the most fun, but a fun fight the way it plays out with the invisibility. And once again, I do love the giant scythe that she's got. I also really like the fact that you can talk to her. She's not instantly hostile. You can talk to her and converse before anything else actually happens, and she can persuade you to leave the painted world and go. Voice actress does a great job here, I believe. I really like the way she sounds as well. Overall, it's just overall, the elements of it, the backstory of the character, how she came to be. She's kind of leading the painted world. She was stashed away there by, the family, because the daughter of Seath and Guinevere, it's kind of like a bit of a messed up scenario. So she was hidden away inside the painted world. The whole story behind it is great. The visual appearance is great. The boss mechanics with the invisibility, brand new at this stage, from what I can remember. Yeah. Which is insanely cool. She's not aggro right away. She'll actually talk to you, which is sweet. She's got tail cut. She's got a cool boss arena. The snowy landscape around you looks awesome. Definitely A-tier boss fight. Excellent. Okie dokie. Now, moving forth. Where do we want to put her, though? Sorry, guys, I am just checking the time again. Just keeping an eye on it, that's all. I'm not in a rush, by the way. I will take as long as it's needed, as we have done throughout the entire video, and I will do for the last two bosses here as well. So don't worry, I'm not rushing to escape here. I've really loved this video. I've loved this talk. It's been great. I just want to keep my eye on the time there as well. But yeah, A-tier for sure. Excellent fight. Where do we want to place her? I feel like she's top end. She's top end. I'm feeling like around here for now. Just give me a second to think. Priscilla. The Kings are good, man. I really love the idea and the idea of everything behind the Kings. I really do. Plus the way they look as well. Super awesome. Excuse me. Got to try and mask a burp. Crossbreed Priscilla. Such a cool area she's located in, though, as well. Fun fight. I just don't know. I don't know if she can go above the Kings, though. Above the Sanctuary Guardian? Maybe. Maybe. Definitely above Capra, Seath, and Gollum. I feel like there's a different... There's 3 tiers within this A tier where it's like top, middle, and bottom of the tier kind of thing. Capra's punching middle, though. Oh, man, it's so hard. I just don't know where to put her. You can tell I'm passionate about these games, can't you? Jesus. Yeah, I'll put a... The Kings. She goes above Guardian. I'm torn between the Kings and her now. My God. She goes above the Kings. She goes above the Kings. They are super cool, though. I love them. A very cool fight. Now, Gwendolyn. Where do we put him? I feel like it's either top of B or bottom of A. Let's stick him at top of B for now. Gwendolyn. Interesting fight. Very unique in the way it plays out for sure. Hidden behind like a secret area as well. You know, that you've got to equip a ring to make it to. Of course, he owns his own covenant. The Blades of the Dark Moon. Very cool fight. Interesting story. In fact, excellent story. Very integral to the storyline of the whole game. Great lore behind his individual character as well. The son of Gwyn, brother of Guinevere, of course, and the firstborn son of Gwyn. So the story is immaculate. Like there's so much, it's so deep, and it ties in everywhere that, you know, I probably can't talk about all of it because it's so cool. But the story is great for him. Interesting boss room, very unique, hidden area, like I said. And part of the Covenant, all building him up. Very cool stuff. The fight itself in the boss room, unique, quite interesting. You've just got to charge down this room and get your hits on him while dodging all these projectiles coming forth to you. All this magic that is attacking you with, to try and get the kill. And when you do, of course, you end up right at the end of the line in the tomb. It's just a really good set piece. Now, in terms of fighting, the way it plays out, not the most interesting, but as an overall thing, like very good. As an overall concept and a boss, really cool. I just don't know where to put him. Bottom of A. No, I just don't feel like the fight is. I mean, it's unique. Like I said, it is cool. It is good. I think he sits at the top of B because as a fight, it's just not. I don't think it's the most interesting, but all the other stuff does back him up nicely. Um, Visual appearance is quite interesting as well with all these little tentacles going on. Um, but the story and the lore is the heaviest part of him. If he was someone who had no story, he'd be much further down the list. But he's so integral that it's like as an overall boss and character, he's well up there. I mean, but not worthy of A. No, I'll put him in B tier. It's a good fight. It's an okay fight. I mean, it's not okay. It's good. It's solid, but not enough for an A. But also he's high B because of all the other elements around him. Really cool. And last of all, the Demon Fire Sage. Once again, it's Demon. I think he's solid. We'll put him at the bottom of B for now. Kind of interesting how we're getting all these Chaos ones and flamey boys down on the bottom side. I feel bad about putting Ceaseless there, but it is what it is. It is what it is, folks. Like I said, we might have a rejig after this, but Demon Fire Sage. Let's go. The final boss. Man, I can't believe we've done it. Let me just do this a little bit. That little tidbit there is bugging me. Good. We've finally done it. We're at the final boss now. Our tier list is nearly complete. We've got the Demon Fire Sage located before the Centipede Demon. Basically, your first fight, disregarding Ceaseless, on your way down to Izalith. First boss fight, once again, another demon variation. Flaming, very cool. The boss fight is, I think it's got B tier written over it all day long, to be honest. Plays out similar to the Stray Demon. And I'm just thinking, where's he gonna go? I feel like there is about right. Flaming Demon. Good, solid, like kind of level, like good, solid, and the same for all these four. Good, solid level for a boss fight. The demon's always, it's like a nice, solid standard. That's the word I'm looking for to be at for a boss fight. Plays out similar to Stray Demon. I will start breaking him down now, sorry. I'm harping on. Similar moveset. He's, of course, flaming this time. He's like he's a Chaos Demon, so to speak. He's not like the others. He's been imbued with fire and flame, maybe from spending his time down there so long. Or maybe he is one of the Chaos Demons. Probably is, actually. That were fought against by the Silver Knights so long ago, and he's still alive. He's one of the last ones out there, clearly. Yeah, so he's very cool. Visual look, you can see he's part of the other demons. I guess there's not too much to say on him. A lot of this one, the Demon Fire Sage, is self-explanatory. So cool look to him. Boss room, yeah, kind of cool. You got the branches going here and there. Beyond him, you've got the shortcut going up to the Fair Lady. Going down, you've got the Centipede Demon. So very cool. Boss fight. Overall, the weight fights, pretty much the same as Stray Demon, so that's where he is. I don't really need to elaborate more on that. He's flaming. He looks cool. Boss fight's good. Like I said, just overall good standard. B tier, yeah, good boss. Good boss for sure. Good. Music, fine. And I guess he has got a bit more backstory there when you look into it with the flaming stuff, but the Chaos Demons and whatnot. But that's where he goes. I don't think there's not too much more to elaborate there. And that's our tier list. I think that's pretty much done, everyone. The reason, by the way, he's above, sticking below Tyrus, actually. Maybe below Pinwheel as well. He doesn't go as much as these guys. Let me just explain. He's not as high up the list as these guys because, it's the first boss of the game. It's just a great introduction. And I feel like, well, obviously for this one, that's what the Asylum Demon is. So Asylum Demon's a bit more unique and kind of meaningful in that way. And in addition to that, the Stray Demon, the scenario at which you meet the Stray Demon and where he's located and how you've got to go back and forth, dropping a Titanite slab as well, of course, is so interesting to the point where I feel like, the Stray Demon's got more about him than than just the Demon Fire Sage. And the same can be said, I think, for the Taurus, because he's more unique. And Pinwheel as well, because of his, the whole, encompassing characteristics of him. Pinwheel deserves to be B, in my opinion. I'm so glad that I changed my mind and put him there. And now, folks, that's all the bosses complete. That's our tier list done. We may rejig a few things here now, though, so let's just look. I think I'm happy with that, the way it is. No, you know what? Artorias does go above Gwyn, and Gwyn goes above the Gargoyles. Those are the God tier ones. There's 5 God tier fights. I think those are fan-freaking-tastic. There's a couple along here that could be pushing that as well, but they've just not got that next bit, I don't think. Excuse me. I just don't think that they've got that next killer bit to take them there. There's a point to be made for Sif and Quelaag, I think. But I can't stack them all on God tier. You can't just say... I don't know, man. There's a point to be made for Quelaag and Sif here. But they're not God tier. They can't... You've got to be special. You've got to be truly special to go on the same line as Simone Arnstein, in my opinion. That is the greatest fight in gaming history for me, personally. Awesome as hell. So cool. I don't even know if you mentioned earlier as well when I was talking about the characteristics of them, how when Ornstein's down on the ground, there's kind of like a little hand twitch, a little hand movement as he's about to try and get back up. Like he's not totally dead when you've smacked him down. His hand does twitch a little bit. Who knows whether Smo saw it or not? Boom, he just brings his hammer down on him anyway. There you go. You're out of the way now. You're gone. It's me. It's Super Smo. So much character. So much character there. And from a gameplay point of view, pinnacle, absolute, excellent, everything about it, perfect. So that's our God tier ones. I'm pretty happy with the order of them, actually. Do I keep Seath above the Golem, though? So this is our last little summarization here. I just want to make sure I'm thinking properly to, make sure I've given myself a really good take. A take that I like and I think is right, because this is the most in-depth I've ever thought about this. So I want to be proud of what I've got here. Very top-heavy list, but that's expected. I just think it's so special that's what it is. Let's see. A tier, Sif, Quelaag, Priscilla, Kings, Guardian, Capra. Capra might go up one. I don't know. I feel like we're splitting hairs. I feel like some of them are so close, like these, that it's like it doesn't matter too much. Where would I put them? No, I feel like Capra goes below him for sure. Seath and Golem. No, I feel like that's right. That 80 is right there. B tier, Gaping Dragon, for whatever reason, buddy, you have got such a special place in my heart. I love Gaping Dragon. It's so awesome, such a cool fight. Gwendolyn tops it out on B tier. Gaping Dragon, I think, does come over Calamite. Yeah, I feel like it does. Something as well, I want to break down a little bit more. His Gaping Dragon's quite cool to fight as well. He's got his charging attacks. He can go aerial, even though he's just a big, massive... Think about how much he must weigh. A big, massive mouth, beastie creature, just slamming down on the ground. He's, of course, got the sick that he, splashes out all over the place. I just think he's a really cool boss. Screw it. Gwendolyn, mate, you can get below him as well. I think... Maybe I got to not get too carried away here. Gwendolyn, man. I just don't think that his fight is strong enough to be the total top, but everything else around it is. And it's an overall... Yeah, it is an overall vision of the boss, so I guess... Gwendolyn can go above the Gaping Dragon to top out B tier, would we say? No, you know what? Gaping Dragon's so special to me for whatever reason. He's top. Gwendolyn goes second there. We got Calamite, Nito, Butterfly. Let's see if we can move a few of these things around. I feel like I will. Butterfly is kind of cool to me. For whatever reason, I don't think too much of Calamite. It's just not the most enjoyable fight for me. But it's still good at the same time. Oh man, what do we do here? What do we do? No, I feel like that's solid. I'll come back to it. Ceaseless, I think, deserves to be on C there. D-tier. Centipede and Bed of Chaos. I think both of those deserve to be on D. Maybe there's an argument for that to be done. But, I'm not a big lover of the scent. It's one either there or there. Is it as bad as going on D tier with the Bed of Chaos, though? No. But Ceaseless definitely is above him. We'll put the Centipede on like bottom of C. And I mean bottom. And I mean if there was a third boss, he'd fall off it into D. The rest of these, Fire Sage, bottom of B. Yeah, solid fight. Below Pinwheel, I would say so. Pinwheel's underrated, man. Very harshly criticised. Solid Demons. Butterfly. Nito. And Calamite. Maybe like that. I think so personally, guys, to be honest. There's an argument for that as well. These are the three that I'm having trouble with right now. Calamite there. Nito there. And Butterfly. I quite enjoy the Butterfly. It's fun. It's an interesting fight. But not as good as Nito. Is Gwendolyn above Nito as well? I do have to think about that. Man, Gwendolyn's dropping already, ain't he? It's hard, man. It is hard. I'll be clear up in a second here, guys. I just want it to be my definitive list. It's like I'm playing chess, ain't it? Is Nito better than Gwendolyn? Maybe. Oh my god. Bear with me one moment. I know this is probably driving some people mad. I apologise, but I just want to... I'm passionate, okay? I'm passionate. Gwendolyn. No, man, I don't know. It's so hard. I feel like... No, I'm going to put Gwendolyn above him. No, I'm going to put Nito above him. Definitely not above Gaping Dragon. And he's got... I also forgot, he has got the ability... The effects that he does with Gwendolyn. He created the illusion, of course, with Guinevere. And, you know, if you kill Gwendolyn, he turns it into Dark Anarlondo. You know, he takes away the illusion and whatnot. He does tie into it a lot. I'm going to put Gwendolyn above Nito, but there's not a lot split in them. There's really not. Man, I am actually struggling. Nito's got his own covenant as well with the Grave Lords. I'm trying to do the whole overarching, total encompassing of the bosses, each boss. I do like Gwendolyn's effect on Anarlondo, though. No, Nito goes above him. Yeah. He's got a harsh story, really, Gwendolyn. It is quite saddening to look into it as well. It is rough, but I think I'm going to put Nito above him. Just for the way that the fight plays out, I think. I think it's more fun. Then again, it's unique. No, okay, we'll put Gwendolyn above Nito. I'm sorry. I'm done there now, guys. There we go. That'll wrap it up. There's not a lot split in them two, though, in my opinion. Both of them, really cool. A lot of stuff going on with them there. And, yeah. Yeah, and that's our list. That's our definitive list of the... That's our definitive tier list of every single boss in Dark Souls 1. I will just say a couple of things before we wrap up here. That is my final opinion. I shall try and bank that, so I know if I'm ever asked a question, which I, you know, who I'll be able to put where and whatnot. But such an amazing game, my favourite game of all time, and yeah, such an amazing array of bosses as well. And I feel like we've done a good job, you know, breaking them down to, you know, analytically into each element of the boss, taking into account all different aspects of them, different you know, elements, looking at things from various viewpoints that people may somewhat overlook. And I feel like we've given a really good in-depth breakdown for each of the bosses there. So I hope you enjoyed watching. That's our definitive list, our tier list, S all the way through to D, of every boss in Dark Souls. If you've watched every second of this, my god, am I impressed, and thank you so much if you have, that's insane. And that pretty much sums it up, folks. I hope you've enjoyed. I know everyone's going to have different opinions on it at the end of the day, but I just wanted to represent mine because I think this kind of video has been a long time coming from me. And now I'm glad that I finally have. Man, I'm so passionate about these games, I love them. Especially this one, it is without doubt my favourite game of all time. I love the bosses. I feel like that's a very good list of them. As you can see, most of them are great, you know, fantastic. You've got 5 of them in God tier there as well. You know, a bunch in excellent, a bunch in, you know, good, really good, solid fights. And then a couple just lackluster a little bit, and then we've got one that is absolute nightmarish. And yeah, that'll be it, folks. I don't think there's anything else here to say. It's been a really long video. I know there's been a good bit of rambling here and there, but all in all, I hope you've enjoyed it, folks. I really do. I'm going to end the video here now. Thank you, everyone. I can't speak at the end of it now as well. Bloody hell. Thank you all very much for watching as per usual. If you enjoyed, you know, feel free to leave a like down below. If not, hey, no hard feelings, as I always say. Just thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and also feel free to leave your opinions down in the comments. You know, I look forward to, you know, reading what you guys think, and let me know if you feel like this was a good breakdown as well, because I feel like we did a pretty good job of it. I'm actually quite proud. So, thank you very, very much for watching again, everybody. This is Matt, otherwise known as Beta Wolf, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.